Yo, Chef Diesel,
Yeah?
you want a piece of fried chicken?
No, I don't want a piece of fried chicken, Joe. No, I'm good. Thank you.
What's wrong with fried chicken? It's delicious.
I don't want to get grease on my blanket.
You want to get grease on your blanket when you're a child? I don't want to get grease on my blanket. Have a piece of fried chicken.
I'm a little too sophisticated for fried chicken. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hey,
fried chicken's delicious.
you're the Italian. You could eat anything.
Hey,
Yeah.
we have good taste in food, you know?
I don't know about that one, but wait a minute. Aren't I supposed to be your boss? Wait a minute, what the hell am I? Hey, let me get in the front seat here. What the hell is wrong with you here?
Well, I'm gonna be here eating this fried chicken.
What in the hell is this? I'm supposed to be your boss. You're eating fried chicken on my time.
That's good.
My God, here. You know, guys, you honestly cannot find good help anymore. Seriously.
Listen, I'm perfect. Chef Diesel.
I'm
the best.
You're something, all right. Perfect may not be it, but you're something, man. Man, what the hell here? Guys, clearly not good help anymore. What can I tell you?
Chef Diesel, I'm wonderful. Come on.
Welcome everybody to a brand new movie review where we talk about Green Book. And oh man, you know, I really like the trailers to this movie. It was really dynamic. I thought this was going to be one to definitely see. The performances alone could be really cool. It was on my radar. I know it was on your radar too.
Of course. So I couldn't wait to see this movie. It was fun and exciting. It was hilarious. The writing was there, man. He really put it up.
And I mean, I guess where do you want to start with Green Book, sir?
Well, let's go with the acting, right? So, like always, you know what I mean? That character from The Lord of the Rings was in. I didn't even recognize him, you know?
Viggo Mortensen,
Yo, he gained some weight.
I don't know, maybe 30, 40 pounds.
He really looked like an Italian. Plus, he could speak it. I was shocked that he was speaking Italian.
Well, you're the Italian, so you would know.
It was there, man. It was his, you know, what can you say? You know, the accent was there. The hard, you know what I mean? The hard Brooklyn Italian accent was perfect.
There. It was perfect.
You know? Yeah.
It was good. He nailed it.
Hell yeah. Even his whole family nailed it.
Yes, the whole family. I mean, he's a little bit cliche, stereotypical Italian, but
yeah.
That was like that back in the... I don't think that it was like, you know, over the top or anything. I think he did a good job with it, and he still had heart as a character.
Honestly, I thought the writing was... I thought he could have... Personally, knowing old school Italians, they're more racist than what it was written in this movie, man. Like, I thought it was... You know, so, it was not that bad.
It's not that bad. And look, Viggo Mortensen, I'm a huge fan of Viggo, man. Whether we're talking about... you know, the Lord of the Rings stuff, as you said, or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. If you guys remember that, yeah, he did a good part in that. You know, Eastern Promises, Hidalgo. Oh, man, he's done a lot of really
Hidalgo
great...
was good. That was the one in the desert.
That was the one with the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He just doesn't do a lot of work a lot of times. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a really great, like, pitcher for a baseball team.
Okay.
Like he's a really great, like, relief pitcher. He could be the big star, but he decides to take a little bit of the back seat sometimes and be sort of the one that you know,
like a second man.
You bring in, but he's solid all the time.
Yeah, nails the hit every time.
Nails it every single time, dude. He's fantastic.
He's like fourth core player, you know. You put in when you know you need a goal. You know?
Yeah, but he could be the bigger star, but he chooses to hold it back a little bit. I wish he'd do more, man. He was great. You got Mahershala Ali, who plays Dr. Shirley.
Dr. Shirley, yeah, dude, phenomenal. Awesome on the keys, awesome on the piano.
He's a really great actor, whether The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Moonlight, he did a really great job in that as well.
This is the first time I've ever seen him.
The first time.
Yeah.
And he did a really great job. In fact, I love the rapport between him and Viggo. just how there's a lot of tension at first, but it comes a certain amount of respect and friendship over time, which I really liked.
Yeah, it was nice seeing their friendship just build throughout the movie.
Well, again, you have to remember, basically, the movie is about Dr. Shirley, who is this pianist who is going on tour in the South. Mm-hmm. He needs a driver, someone to take care of his certain needs and stuff on the road, and somebody to be sort of, I don't want to say a protector, but I guess in some ways a protector.
Well, he needed someone that knows what they were doing.
Yeah. And the idea that he hires Tony, played by Viggo, and again, like they're learning from each other. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of misunderstandings, but through that becomes this really interesting and fascinating friendship that they grow to have. Yeah, which is really well done here.
Yeah, well, they were from two different worlds. You know what I mean? Like, Tony grew up in the streets. Tony, he grew up a little hard.
Yeah, and whereas Dr. Shirley, not so much.
He went to college.
And he was at this prestigious piano school, and he grew up in a very different way.
Yeah, could write really well and, articulate his words phenomenal. That's why he helped, Tony during the movie. Writing his letters.
And you have to also understand something, too. This movie takes place in 1962. Mm-hmm. Now, you have to remember a few things. One, JFK is still in the White House at this point. He isn't assassinated yet. And in the South at this point, in the early 60s, African Americans were still very much treated like second-class citizens at that point. I mean, even in New York, people look down on them, but you go in the South and it's even worse.
Yeah, racism was there and up front, personal.
In a big bad way. And not only that, but like you have to also remember that I mean, to a certain extent, like you would have people like beat on you and, pull you over for just being black.
Yeah. Well, they had that green book just so, specific segregated places where, people coming from the North who were African American could stay down south.
And that was a real book. That was a real book in real life where people could this is where you're allowed to go. It tried to make it nice in a way, but it was anything but nice.
Yeah.
And they had to navigate that. I mean, what's also fascinating about this movie is that it's inspired by a true story. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember that inspired by true stories are not entirely truth, like 100%, that there's going to be probably 50% truth and probably another 50% that's a little bit fabricated. Exactly. It's going to happen.
Up your point, though.
But it's still very well done. It comes across, and at the end of the movie, you do see pictures of the real life people.
Yeah.
And so there is a good amount of truth to this movie, which is really good. I also want to bring up real quick Linda Cardellini, who plays the wife.
She did a good job.
She did a good job. She's a
good-looking lady.
She's a good-looking lady, like for an Italian.
Yeah. What are you talking about, man?
Right? You.
Yeah, she was cute.
She was cute. I like her. She did a really, really great job in this as well. And again, man, just the scenery of the movie is so well done here. Mm-hmm. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous.
They brought the cars, man. The cars were dope. Man.
Oh, the Cadillac. You love the Cadillac, man. The Cadillac is really nice. It
had electric windows. I wasn't sure. I was kind of confused there. I got to ask my father back in 1962. Because it was the new one.
Maybe it was the newer models?
It had to be, because I didn't think they had electric windows back in...
Maybe. I'm not a car expert. Maybe if you guys are car experts, you can let us know.
1962,
Maybe it was probably that. I mean, I really loved all that stuff. And not only did I love that, but I love the music in the movie. So well done. Yeah. Now, I'm not a classically trained, musician or pianist or something. I don't know that stuff. But it looked well done. It looked like they knew what they were doing and they trained their ass off.
Well, the actor that played Dr. Shirley, I felt like he had to be a pianist. He had to play when he was younger and grew up playing. You know what I mean?
Like that.
I feel like that's how they found him. Like, oh, he plays piano? Oh, shit. He's pretty good.
I don't know whether or not he actually did or they trained him for this role. I mean, but...
That would be a lot of piano playing to learn all what he did in this movie.
But that's what actors do. They're good at what they do. They are. I mean, and he was really great in this role. And, I mean, speaking of really interesting things in this movie, this movie is directed by Peter Farrelly. Mm-hmm. Now, Peter Farrelly is one half of the Farrelly brothers. Dumb and Dumber. There's Something About Mary. Dumb and Dumber 2. Kingpin. Stuck on You. You name it. These guys did a lot of raunchy comedies. To think that one of the Farrelly brothers could do this movie is a little shocking. But, as I've always said, is that just because a director does, like, comedy, all comedy, doesn't mean that they don't have a good drama or a good sort of drama/comedy in them. It just means that they haven't attempted it yet.
Yeah, he just proved that he's not a one-trick pony, and he's a jack of all trades. Like, he can do comedy, but also he can make a kick-ass, drama-filled, funny movie.
And the thing about it is also, I really want to point out that the comedy in the movie does not feel out of place.
No.
It doesn't feel out of place.
The joke's nailed.
Anything with Tony with the food or being the Italian guy or anything like that, it hits. You never groan.
What I liked about that was when Tony made fun of Dr. Shirley, Dr. Shirley gave it right back to Tony. Yeah. Saying like, dude, you sound like a child when you're writing your letters.
Yeah.
When they were sitting at the picnic table. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. There's a really great rapport between the actors, and there's a really great rapport between, just the message that the movie's giving you and also the entertaining aspect of the movie, and they come together in a really nice way here.
Yeah.
And I
was going to say, I thought the message was great. I feel like a lot of people can take away from, this movie, and nowadays, like, you need movies like this to show friendship and show courage and show what it takes to actually stand up during those hard times.
I mean, I agree with you, and the thing about it you have to remember is that you see in this movie, you realize how far that we've come as a society from like 62 to now.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to go, man.
Yeah, of course.
There's so much more to go. I mean, even though we'd like to think racism is all gone and everything, it's not.
Well, it's not.
It's still there. And this movie really opens up to the idea of seeing people in a different light, accepting them for who they are, but also not changing yourself for other people, man.
Yeah. Well, that's how Tony was. He didn't want to change himself with Dr. Shirley. He still wanted to kind of act a little rugged, say the swear words and act kind of not sophisticated. Oh, yeah. Who are these people? I'll act the way I want, and if they don't like it, my fun, go take a hike. That's how his attitude was. And that's how Dr. Shirley took a lot away from that.
He did. I think they both needed each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what I think. They definitely both needed each other. And, I mean, let me ask you this, because this is something I definitely want to ask you. We're in Oscar season right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of big movies are coming out, whether, it's A Star is Born, First Man. There's a lot of really great things that are coming out, getting a lot of Oscar buzz and attention. Here we have these performances, these really great performances by these actors. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, do you think that these actors deserve some love from the Oscars? Do you think the movie does? Or do you think that they're not as good performances as what maybe other movies will be this year?
Absolutely. I think they should be at least in the runner-up. This movie is phenomenal. I think they should win something. We need more movies like this and more actors that act this way.
We definitely do. No, I agree. We need more people like this that are going to act like this in movies. It's so solid of performances, man. It really honestly is. I really loved it a lot, and it was a surprise. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I was exactly expecting going into this movie, because usually I'll go into a movie and I'll say, didn't quite hit the way I wanted to. Mm-hmm. Or, there's some lagging parts here. I didn't see any lagging parts.
No, this movie, I was into it. I fell in love with it. I was every step of the way. I was present. I was listening to every moment of it. I was making sure I didn't have to go to the bathroom on this movie. I didn't want to miss nothing. All right, it was a great movie.
Well, not only that, but the audience was in it.
Oh, everyone was laughing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
they were loving it, man. They were absolutely loving it. It was really, really well done, man. Yeah, I mean,
I felt like it should have been in a bigger theater too, you know?
It was in a small theater, man. I mean, you got these big movies playing in like these huge stadium style seats, and we had a very small theater that it was playing in, man.
Yeah, this was a great movie.
This was a great movie that I feel like the problem is there's a lot of really big movies out right now, and there's a lot of big movies coming up in the next like few weeks. And I feel like this movie might get a little bit lost in the shuffle for people.
It will, definitely will, you know.
And I hope it doesn't.
It shouldn't. This movie should be front end of everything. You know
it should literally be front and center in a big bad way. In my honest opinion,
you can take so much away from it. Even the quote, you know what I mean? It takes courage to change people's hearts. That's true. That's facts. That's what we need. People need to be more courageous and stand up for what's right.
You need to stand up for what's right. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to stand up for other people. And again, like there's certain moments in the movie that whether or not, you know, like again, people are beating on Dr. Shirley or they're getting stopped by cops or something. And again, there's moments in the movie where again, and Dr. Shirley's other bandmates, they're white.
Yeah.
And one was Russian.
One was Russian. Him and Tony really didn't like him in the beginning, remember?
No.
You know?
And they kind of got along towards the end.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where Tony literally says to him, you know, look, I mean, all this stuff happens to him. People treat him like dirt, and he's still got to shake people's hands and still, like, be courteous and nice to these people. And he's like, it takes a lot to change their hearts and minds. You have to be the bigger man.
Honestly, that's what it takes. You know, that's what it takes to be a man. You know, you gotta.
You gotta sometimes, you know, swallow maybe a little bit of your pride, not a ton of it, to just be the bigger person. And again, people like Tony being the hothead versus Dr. Shirley being the more cool, calm, collective guy who maybe inside is burning with emotion.
Yeah.
And the two have to sort of both learn lessons in you know, one has to maybe show his emotions more versus one that maybe has to
pump the brakes, pull it back.
A little bit. And so I like that dynamic a lot, man.
And I feel like Tony was craving it. Remember in the beginning he didn't want to take the gangster's job in the restaurant?
He didn't want
no, I got something, don't worry about it. You know?
He doesn't want to be the bad guy. And he feels like people are leaning him towards that. And that's why he feels like there's, you know, he wants to be the better person. And I like that because and you even said it at the beginning of the movie. You were like, well, geez, if I was in that time period, I'd be a gangster.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be a part of it because it's fun, exciting. Like he said when he at the gas station when that one thing happened, the Russian told Dr. Shirley, I don't want to do no spoilers, but you know what I mean. It's fun to do it.
It is.
It was fun.
It's fun. It really is fun in a big bad way. I completely agree with you, man. I think I honestly think it works really well, man. And, for me, again, this movie came out at the perfect time, and I think it really is such a well done movie.
Yeah. There needs to be case studies on it. People need to watch this.
At the end of the day, this movie is about friendship, man.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
That's what this movie is. And I can't... You know what? It's a movie that I feel like is really needed right now, as you said, and it's such a well done movie in so many areas. Whether it's the drama aspect of it, going through the South and dealing with the issues that they did, or the comedy aspect of it, the lighter tone at times. It threads a line at times between certain types of a movie, whether it's comedy or drama stuff, but it all works pretty well in my opinion. I mean, what's your final thoughts and grade rating on Green Book, sir?
Well, I want to say I feel like the movie really showed that it doesn't really take much to change your ways. You know what I mean? To really just maybe, act more kind to people.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You're not wrong.
I really like that that this movie really put up that message. So grade rating.
Grade rating, sir.
It's that time. Okay.
It's that time, sir.
It's that time, and I had to talk to Seth Diesel and ask him if I could switch it up a few things. I'm going to give this movie...
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to give this movie an A.7. 8.7, folks, and that's high. I'm putting this at 8.7 because it was such a great movie.
Why can't you go to the A+ territory?
Because if I do A+ territory, right, that means I gotta, the next movie we see,
sure.
if it competes with this, and if it competes with this, I don't see, we've seen how many movies so far? And none of these movies touched this one. The writing, the acting, the directing, everything was there.
Okay.
The clothes, the cars, the music, the houses, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything was there. And that's why I'm playing 8.7. That's why.
Wow. Damn. That's hardcore right there. The man knows what he's talking about.
I had to convince him. I had to convince him.
Well, it's a high A. It's a high A.
It's a high A. It's a high A.
He could have just said high A.
Good movie.
It's
good movie.
Good.
Phenomenal movie. Honestly, you guys need to go see this movie.
Yes, honestly. Guys, look, Joe is right because the time period stuff, they do a great job with the time period stuff. The clothing, the hair, the way the buildings look and everything like that. They do get it right. Does it go there enough with, like, the how the Italians actually were back then? Nah, it doesn't go there fully. A movie like something like Bronx Tale really goes there in a big bad way.
That was written by Italian.
Yeah, so I don't know, but this movie doesn't really need that at the end of the day.
I think it would have ruined it. Totally ruined it if it would have been
absolutely
more raised.
More raised. It didn't need it touched on it to a certain degree, and that's what it needed to do, and that's all it needed. You got the idea, man. You know? There's a little bit of cliche stuff, stereotypical stuff in here, but again, I'm cool with it because you have to remember, man, that the movie, I think the movie works to its benefit. It's not trying to thread the line too much. It's doing its own thing, and it works on all fronts: acting, directing, the story. It's a great tale to be told. Mm-hmm. For me, man, I'm gonna give it a high A.
Oh, you got the high A.
We're going, dude. It's a great movie. What can I tell you, man? I liked it. This is definitely a must-see, folks. Definitely check this movie out.
Man. You need to see this movie.
And you know what? Speaking of which, actually, I will take some chicken.
What do you mean, want some chicken?
You
don't want no chicken before. Why you want my chicken now?
I'm the boss. Can I get some damn chicken?
Wait. Take a bite.
Wait a minute. It's empty.
Oh, what do you mean? There's a few crumbs in there.
Oh, fuck. I can't even get a goddamn piece of chicken.
You want this piece?
Fuck that. I ain't taking that piece. Oh, God. Oh, God, guys. Are you kidding me?
Let's go chicken.
Freaking Italians. Oh, God. You eat the full freaking bucket. Oh, God, guys. I can't even get a good piece of chicken, for Christ's sake, here.
Hard enough life out here.
Damn right it is, especially for a Jewish guy that can't get something from an Italian. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of Green Book. Are you interested to see it? Let us know your thoughts, and we will be back next time for another movie review. And I am definitely not letting you anywhere near chicken in the future because Lord knows I can't even get a goddamn piece for myself.
You need no protein, son. You need no protein.
I need something now that I can't get this, folks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll enjoy that friggin' chicken.
Peace!
See you later, guys.